Hi everyone, my name is Jessica and I'll be doing my presentation on a project that I did with the team on harnessing the impact and value created by generative AI. To begin with, generative AI is a term that needs no introduction. The generative AI technology has created a firestorm in the public and media due to its variety of use cases from text-based conversation to image recognition and natural language processing. Not just that, generative AI is expected to achieve 30% of share of the overall AI market by 2025. ChatGPT, which is one of the tools that falls under the umbrella of generative AI, just took like 5 days since its inception to exceed 1 million users. So to build on this momentum, we wanted to do a project that will not just allow the industry leaders to understand or dive deeper into the field of GenAI, but also help them understand the gaps within their organization and how to fill them using the GenAI technology. So the objective of this project is to provide a platform to discuss and deliberate on the adoption of GenAI by Canadian industries, as well as to map their aspirations, concerns, apprehensions, and questions. The audience included the industrial AI builders, researchers, academics, and industry experts. So this project was conducted in a discussion format, which is a series of events which is designed to initiate or facilitate discussion of broad topics. The session was divided into 2 themes, the first one being the growth potential and risks of generative AI, and the second one being the broader impact of GenAI. Each session consisted consequently of 3 parts, starting off with the keynote presentation, panel discussion, and a roundtable discussion. Moving on to the life cycle of the project. The life cycle of the project consisted of 3 phases, including initiation, planning, execution, and delivery. My particular contribution to each of these phases has been highlighted on this slide. In phase 1, I was involved in brainstorming the ideas and finding the opportunities with the team and conducting extensive research on the development of generative AI. On phase 2, I was involved in consolidating the research finding and coming up with 3 preliminary recommendation documents and building up presentations which would effectively communicate the key insights of the project to the team. In the third phase, I was involved in assisting the facilitation of the roundtable discussion, record key insights from the discussion, and document the discussion with the team. Moving on with the phase 1 of the coming up with preliminary recommendation documents. The preliminary research allowed us to come up with recommendation reading documents which focused on 3 main domains of GenAI. We wanted the industry leaders and the sponsors to understand what their stance on these 3 particular domains are. What is the business value and growth potential that they see in GenAI? What is the social impact that GenAI can make in the team? And what are the risks and mitigations that they have to be aware of? The roundtable discussions were a great format in which we stepped into the shoes of not just the leaders, but also understood what are their greatest apprehensions, aspirations, and questions. When it comes to apprehensions, we wanted to understand what are the biggest concerns and challenges using GenAI within their teams. So as highlighted in this tree map, as per the number of times, these were the topics that came up most number of times during the roundtable discussion. When it comes to apprehensions, LLM policy or trustworthiness is something that tops up the most. When it comes to aspirations, understanding how do these leaders envision GenAI within their organizations, they really wanted to understand how GenAI can help them drive business growth, enhance productivity, and how can there be a seamless democratization of AI. What are the concerns that they have regarding GenAI? The first one, the one that tops the most is the computation power. As GenAI models use high computation powers, small and medium companies often struggle with finding these computational powers. So what are the leaders talking about? First one, they want to build up and reinforce business growth, democratization, and they want to adopt AI at a greater scale. What they want to resolve? They want to resolve the challenges that come with computation power, understand the privacy layer that happens on large language learning models, and also take a deeper dive into the implementation policies and regulatory mandates that are happening around in the world. And what do they want to ensure? They want to ensure that the models that they build are trustworthy. There is a seamless transition of Gen AI within their teams, and they want to ensure that these technologies are not monopolized by the big giants as big giants are the one that hold the most amount of data in the field at the moment. So with this project, we also wanted to understand what are the areas in which we can help them bridge the Gen AI gap. As the research advances and the algorithms become more and more complex, it will become harder to keep up with the advanced models. As a result, these businesses will need to pivot and develop strategies. So here are the 8 steps that these businesses can take a deeper look into, starting off with talent development, funding investment, intellectual property management, industrial partnerships, regulations and standards, infrastructure ecosystem, access to data, and research and development. A greater look into the strategy adoption for Gen AI in small and medium enterprises is listed over here. I could just state on one, like in talent development, the short-term goals for these teams could be to expand on AI education. The mid-term goal could be to develop AI-focused internships, and the long-term goal could be to provide support for AI talent recruitment and retention. So my experience with working with the team has been great. Working in a team with great mentors allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of this field. As I had been a software engineer, so I could think myself not just in the engineering shoes, but also understand how to translate the technical knowledge into a business insight. I was happy to collaborate with great mentors with my team like Himanshu, Eric, Sadaf. And this event also provided me with a great opportunity to network with the leaders who are working and doing great work in the field of generative AI. I'm truly grateful to Vector for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, and I'm now open for questions.
What companies should be focused on based on what you have learned from, your readings and your experience facilitating this process? What do you think companies should pay attention to in the near future, in your mind?
For sure. So it's like a multifaceted question in itself. So when it comes to business insights and everything, the company should be definitely focusing on the 3 Ps, which is process, people, and the potential that generative AI models can create within the team. And there is also an element of risks and mitigation that they have to be extremely careful of. As these models are they are truly dependent on the data that goes into these models. So there could be copyright infringement. They have to ensure that all the proprietary data is in place and all the regulatory checks are in place.